Andy Cohen addresses rumor of Lisa Vanderpump's possible return to RHOBH. Lisa Vanderpump quit The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in Season 9, but there are rumors about her possible return every year. Those claims re-emerged recently, and Bravo boss Andy Cohen addressed them on his radio show. Lisa has been booked and busy since she departed the franchise, finding success on Vanderpump Rules. The show is getting a reboot, but Lisa will still be a cast member and executive producer of the revamped reality series. It is her restaurant after all. Meanwhile, RHOBH has continued without the 64-year-old after she burned bridges with all of her former castmates. The show is now in its 14th season, and fans of the franchise have continued to ask about her return. However, is there any truth to the recent rumblings? Andy Cohen dismisses claim about Lisa Vanderpump's RHOBH return. Andy addressed the latest RHOBH rumor on SiriusXM's Radio Andy. It was repeated all over the place that I'm trying to get Lisa Vanderpump back on the Housewives of Beverly Hills, said the dad of two. Now let me restate my abject love for Lisa Vanderpump, but I don't know where the rumor came from and I don't see her coming back to that show, he confessed. Andy reasoned that Lisa doesn't have a close relationship with anyone on RHOBH after her major fallout with former best friend Kyle Richards. The Puppygate saga also spelled the end of her friendship with Dorit Kemsley. I guess she's kind of friends with Garcelle, noted Andy, adding that as for the other women, I don't even think she has any desire or they have any desire to interact. Friendships are falling apart on RHOBH. If Lisa is tuned in to Season 14 of RHOBH, she might be smirking at the current turn of events. Kyle and Dorit bonded after Lisa exited the show and formed the Fox Force 5 with Lisa Rinna, Erica Jane, and Teddy Mellencamp. However, Season 13 marked their downfall when Kathy Hilton joined the show and ended up in a heated feud with Lisa. The former soap star eventually bid goodbye to the franchise, not on the best terms with Kyle. Lisa and Kathy's drama also caused tensions between Kyle and Dorit, when the Beverly Beach star chimed in and defended Kathy at the Season 13 reunion. That has now turned into a full-fledged feud between the duo. The once close friends have been attempting to hash out their issues since Season 14 premiered, but we're now 8 episodes in, and things are still tumultuous between them. We're keeping our fingers crossed that by the Season 14 reunion, these two can mend fences and move on, but we're not holding our breath. Andy Cohen sat comfortably in his dressing room, the bright lights from the mirror illuminating his face as he scrolled through his phone. It was an unseasonably cold day in Los Angeles, and his team had just wrapped filming the latest episode of Watch What Happens Live. But his piece was abruptly interrupted when his assistant burst into the room, phone in hand, her face flushed with excitement. "Andy, you need to see this," she said breathlessly, handing him the device. He squinted at the screen. There it was, a headline splashed across every major gossip site. Lisa Vanderpump in talks to return to RHOBH. Could this be the reunion fans have been waiting for? The article was accompanied by a photograph of Lisa in her signature pink ensemble, walking her beloved dog Gigi's successor, Puffy. Andy's brows shot up. Rumors about Lisa's potential return to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills had been swirling for months, but this was the first time they hit the media with such fervor. He leaned back in his chair, letting out a soft chuckle. "Well, this is going to stir the pot," he muttered. The next day, Andy found himself in the hot seat during an interview on a popular morning radio show. The host wasted no time diving into the topic everyone was buzzing about. "Andy, let's cut to the chase," the host began, her voice dripping with curiosity. "Is Lisa Vanderpump coming back to RHOBH?" Andy flashed his signature mischievous grin, the one that had both endeared and infuriated countless housewives over the years. "You know I love a good rumor," he replied, leaning into the microphone. "But here's the thing about Lisa. She's an icon. She's one of the OGs of Beverly Hills, and I think the show will always have a piece of her DNA in it, whether she's on it or not." "That's not a yes or a no," the host pressed, her eyes narrowing playfully. Andy laughed. It's a very diplomatic answer, he admitted. Look, I'll say this. We're always having conversations behind the scenes. The door is never fully closed when it comes to the Housewives. That's all I'll say for now. The response only fueled speculation. Fans took to social media in droves, dissecting Andy's words, his tone, and even his body language. Was that grin a confirmation? Did his careful wording hint at ongoing negotiations? Bravo's social media team leaned into the buzz, posting a cryptic clip of Lisa's most memorable moments with the caption, "The Queen of Shade never really leaves." Meanwhile, Lisa Vanderpump herself was enjoying the spectacle. Sitting at her favorite table at Tom Tom, she sipped a glass of rosé and scrolled through the endless stream of tweets, memes, and articles. Her good friend and occasional sparring partner, Ken Todd, chuckled from across the table. "They're practically begging you to come back," he remarked, nodding toward her phone. Lisa smirked. "Let them beg a little more," she replied. But deep down, even she had to admit that the idea of returning to the show and reclaiming her throne was enticing. She missed the camaraderie, the glamour, and yes, even the drama. But she also remembered the sting of her last season, the betrayals and the headlines that painted her as a villain. As the speculation reached a fever pitch, Andy decided it was time to address the rumors head-on. He scheduled a live taping of Watch What Happens Live, teasing a massive announcement that fans wouldn't want to miss. The Bravo universe buzzed with anticipation. When the night finally arrived, the studio was electric. Fans packed the audience, clutching their phones to live tweet every moment. Andy took his seat, a twinkle in his eye as he welcomed viewers. "All right, let's get to it," he said, cutting straight to the chase. "There's been a lot of chatter about a certain Beverly Hills housewife and whether or not she's coming back. So let me clear the air." The crowd leaned forward, collectively holding their breath. "Lisa Vanderpump is." Andy paused for dramatic effect, letting the tension build. "In a great place, living her fabulous life. And while we've had some very interesting conversations recently, nothing is set in stone. But I will say this. The idea of Lisa returning is something that excites me as much as it excites all of you." The audience erupted into cheers, their excitement palpable. Andy held up his hands, laughing. Now, don't get too excited just yet. We're still in the early stages of figuring out what's next for the show. But you all know Lisa. She loves a grand entrance. If she does decide to come back, she'll make sure it's nothing short of spectacular." Back at Villa Rosa, Lisa watched the broadcast with an amused smile. She'd intentionally kept her plans vague, enjoying the power she held in the situation. She knew her fans were loyal, and she wasn't ready to give them a definitive answer just yet. For now, she was content to let the world speculate. As Andy wrapped up the show, he glanced at his phone, which was already lighting up with texts from housewives past and present. Some were thrilled at the idea of Lisa's return. Others were less enthused. But Andy knew one thing for sure. Whether or not Lisa Vanderpump returned, she had already succeeded in doing what she did best, stealing the spotlight. And for Andy, that was what made her a true housewife legend.